Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Your brother Rutters at Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Al-Chodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. The mirth of the land is gone, it's ceasing. And, the house of terror and destruction has been kicked wide open, man. Because this current culture, like it tells you in this headline here, and the BBC News website, culture is about to be disrupted and destroyed. As it's, according to 1 Corinthians 7:31, the fashion of this world shall pass away without fervent heat from the nuclear missiles, the ICBMs, which is the current, situation that's brewing over there in the Middle East. As of late, you've had DJ Trump basically declare all-out war against the Armenians, modern-day Iranians today, the Persians, because they refuse to open up the fucking strait. As he said in his latest email, open up the fucking strait. You crazy bastards. As he said in his latest Twitter account, tweet message that he put out there, and basically showing the frustration of America dealing with this Strait of Hormuz and them not being able to get their oils, their oil resources like they want to, because the Iranians are basically playing them for mocking them, basically mocking the West, mocking America and Israel, man, anyone that's associated with them. And that's the spirit of the earth right now. The time of the earth right now, according to Ecclesiastes 3:8, is the time for war. This ain't the time for laughing and gagging and joking and folly, and going to music gigs and dancing and showing yourself to be a fool. But in the spirit of mirth, man, like it tells you in Ezekiel 21. Shall we then make mirth? Shall we then make mirth, man? We're not in the time of mirth, when all hell is about to break loose. But you got 2/3 of our people that are engulfed in this society, this modern day culture. And they love the way this society is. They love the philosophies of this world, which goes into the whole fornication of wickedness of that abominations in that cup representing Babylon the Great, and all the atrocities that they partake in, from the fruit and nuts to, all the rest of it, the zoophilia, and all the rest of it out here that goes on in society behind closed doors. And this place is on its way out, man. And another example of that, the mirth of the motherland is gone, is this wireless festival, basically in the UK, just a predominantly big UK event every summer over here in the UK. And they usually have big major American artists. It's been cancelled because they were supposed to have this guy, Kanye the Mess West, come over for free dates on the sold out show, basically, to take over the whole event. But because of his anti-Semitic views, the Small Hats basically cancelled his visitation to the UK. So basically this is like a when you look at the bigger picture of this thing, basically if you say anything against the Small Hats and you're an international so-called citizen, whatever, and you want to travel around and all that, they can stop you from traveling if you have some anti-Semitic views against the Small Hats, man, basically. That's what they're basically putting out there. And it doesn't matter if you're a celeb or an average citizen. This is going into the whole dystopian tracking and tracing UBI, mark of the beast system that they're getting ready to implement for, anyone that, enemy combatants, basically. When you take that biometric device and it pops up on your chip, your information, your grapho, which goes into the writings, your information pops up and it says that you got legal proceedings against you got warrants for your arrest for making antisocial comments online, or you've been arrested for so on and so forth for hate speech. You're going to be prohibited and restricted from entering certain countries. They can do that just for so-called. So free speech is out of the window. This is basically showing you that free speech is no longer free anymore, man. You can't have your own personal views in society. It don't matter if you're a celeb or an average citizen. But they're trying to use this whole him performing at a damn festival event as a ruse to push forth that narrative, man. But either way, F Kanye, man, because, that guy is a lost soul. He's a degenerate. And he's part of the 2/3 club anyway, man. So, we weren't looking forward to seeing this guy in the UK anyway. They're saying that this guy was just going to basically stir up the minds of the people, and push that anti-Semitic view even more so because of what's going on right now in the Middle East, because he's the one that came out and said in his was it his Twitter account saying DEFCON 1 and all of that against the Jays. And you got the Middle East situation that's going on right now, so it's not looking too good for the Israelis on the social and economic front, and everyone's not in agreement with America and their shenanigans dealing with Israel to basically take over the Middle East or infiltrate and besiege Iran. So it says Wireless Festival was cancelled as the government, so this is a UK thing, the government got involved, stops headline act Kanye West from entering the UK. And you know who runs the government? The small hats, man. Matter of fact, this guy, Kanye the Mess West, just had a concert somewhere in Sophie, I don't know where the Sophie is, but Sophie concert, whatever. And it managed to generate $33 million in revenue. And 33 is a Masonic number. And the guy that hired him basically was a J, a small hat rat, to do that festival, that sold out show that he's had recently over there in the West. And so this is just showing you that who's in control behind the scenes, man. These small hat rats, man, they're the ones just pulling the strings and making all these things happen, man. They're causing all these skirmishes, and they want people to be in that riotous, seditious type behavior because people are kicking up a fuss basically online because their whole Wireless Festival has been cancelled because they can't find no other artist. Like, there's no other international artist they can put up there other than Kanye the Mess West. So people are kicking up a fuss online, you know. But this is the spirit of this is the spirit of the Lord, because the Lord said the mirth of the land is gone, man. People out here still want to be in the spirit of mirth, then the Lord's cutting that shit down, man. I said the organization say the Home Office has withdrawn Ye's ETA permission to enter, denying his entry into the UK as a result of Wireless Festivals cancelled and refunds have been issued to all ticket holders. So the US Home Office made its decision on the grounds that his presence will not be conducive to the public good. The Prime Minister says that the US rapper should never have been invited, but yet when it comes to immigration problems that we have worldwide, they got the borders open, and anyone that can jump on a damn speedboat or boat in general and come into the damn docks and jump the border, so to speak. But an international so-called artist has been restricted by all means by the own UK government itself, by the Home Office itself. They're stopping this guy from entering the UK, but you can't stop the immigration problem that's proceeding in society. Don't make no fucking sense, man. It's just bullshit, man. Shows you the hypocrisy of this whole governments. These governments are all, they're all bought and paid for, and they're all basically patsies for the wicked elite. They do the bidding of their father, the devil, man. Because the whole immigration problem is going on right now because letting people jump the border, and they're not stopping them. But you got the UK government and the Home Office want to stop this one artist, doing all they can to stop this one artist from entering the UK. It doesn't make no fucking sense. But I'll rest my case. It says this morning West offered to meet the J-ish community in the UK, saying my only goal is to come to London and present the show to change, bringing unity, peace and love through my music. It's supposed to take place in July for 3 nights, headline show. So he's supposed to be basically make it good with the Jays. Well, I thought he apologized to the Jays already, man. He's already been apologizing to the Jays. They want him to keep apologizing. It's a joke thing, man. Even a situation that happened a couple of weeks ago in regards to, no brothers was aware about the Mobiles Awards, music of black origins or whatever it's called. It's an award show that we have predominantly in the UK every year, and they have American artists and so on and so forth, and major British black artists. So it's a black artist event, basically, for black excellence and all that madness. And basically they had a list of the J's that was against this basically set up again this year. They had a list of names of artists that they didn't want to be given access to perform. And one of the guys was my guy, or the guy we know over here in the UK is Wiley, the grime artist. Had the similar views as the Mr. Kanye, the Mess West, spewing his so-called anti-Semitic views, and he got cancelled harshly, man. He got treated badly by the UK government. They blackballed him, so to speak, for many years, and it's only just now recently they've basically lifted up the ban, so to speak, shadow banning him and all that, and he's starting to get back into the main media, so to speak, putting out his music and so on and so forth. But anyway, they wanted him to perform at the mobiles, but you had the Jewish faction, the J community, that didn't want him to perform, and they was putting out letters and so on and so forth, writing to the government to stop this guy from performing. So these small hat rats, man, whenever they feel they want to, they feel they can just infiltrate and stop things from going on in society, because they're the victims, and really they're the most destructive force on the face of the earth, these Amalekites, man, because that's biblically who they are. These small hat rats, these Jays, they go back to the tribe of Amalek, the nation of Edom, spawn of Esau, man. Bunch of Edomite devils that are running rampant around the face of the earth, causing all these major atrocities, man. World wars and all sorts, man. And it just shows you that, as I said, free speech is not free anymore. It's all BS, man. It's all privileges that are going to get taken away, especially in the times that we're in right now, going into this dystopian mark of the beast system. When they implement that C-hip, man, you ain't going to have no privileges, or they're going to give you so-called rights restricted, basically, and you ain't going to have no freedom of speech, man. That's one thing you're never going to have, freedom of speech. Otherwise, they'll probably just turn off your chip. You ain't going to have no more credits and debits, because they just want you to be a good servant, a good slave, a good online digital slave, man. Don't question authority. Anyway, I'm going to read one or two scriptures and close out, make this too long, but basically the spirit of the mirthdom of this land is gone, man, and the new wine mourneth, as it says here, Isaiah 24:7, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. Yeah, why? Because we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. We're already in the time of Jacob's trouble. It's going to escalate. Things are going to get far worse and worse, man. You see what's going on with this oil situation, and the Strait of Hormuz, and how it's causing major effects on the markets. And they're talking about the backlog of stock that's not going to be able to be transported, including oil and different resources, to the stores. So it's going to cause us a lack in stock and a skyrocketing prices, basically a surge in prices and resources, oil, water, all these different things, bread, everything that people need in his life to survive, basically, like it tells you in Ecclesiasticus, the 39th chapter, man. Oil, sugar, all these things are made for, not sugar, but it says oil, all these different things are made for a man's being to survive, So now that's going to be restricted, and it's going to cost a hell of a lot more than it used to purchase these items, man, because there's going to be a lack of. The stock houses appear empty, as it tells you in 2 Esdras, the 6th chapter, around the 20th verse. So this is that time, man. A great famine is coming, man. Great famine, man. So that's why people are going to be mourning. They're going to be merry-hearted. They're going to be sighing, man, because they can't afford their so-called lifestyle. They can't afford their rent, their mortgage. The cost of living's too high. The oil prices are skyrocketing. They're saying it's going to be like $200 at a gallon, or even more, in the coming days and weeks. So this place is on its way out, man. That's why you shouldn't be in the spirit of mirthdom, because all hell is literally breaking loose, economically, financially, all of that, man. And it's going to affect the natural the average persons, man, not just everyone over there in the Middle East. It's going to affect the world, because of America, man. America, you know, holds the world reserve currency, and anything they do is basically a domino effect on the world, man. It says, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoiceth endeth. It says, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Yeah, so all these festivals and getting together and jumping in joy and jumping for joy and spirit of folly, all that shit's getting cut down, man. The Lord said it ceaseth, man. It says, they shall drink wine, they shall not drink wine with a song, Salakia. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it, yeah, because it's bitter times. Times of evils multiplying in the earth. That's the times we're living in, man. So you're supposed to know how to measure the times diligently in itself. Are we in a spirit of mirthdom, or the time of mirthdom right now, or the time of great evil and war and pestilence and destruction? Average persons out there, especially 2/3 of our people, they're none the wiser, man. It says they just want to stay high off life. It says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. And they're gonna, there's gonna be another lockdown situation as well regarding the new pestilences that's coming out, famines, energy lockdowns. All this shit is coming to a domino effect, man. It's gonna affect life as we know it, man. Things are gonna change abruptly because of this whole situation that's going on in the Middle East. The fear of war. Plus all the Abkeo situations are going on, and psyops and all that, equals what? A dystopian new world order, man. A new digital system, which says that they're gonna push forth for everyone to take a biometric device underneath the skin. Civil disobedience, civil war, sedition amongst men. That's gonna be the order, the cry out, the chaos, and then the order is gonna be to give everyone a chip to control the masses, man. To so-called restore order. That's the order through the chaos, man. That's the times we're living in. This is what the wicked elite want, man. This is why they've been planning, salivating for this time since 1776. And now is the perfect time to basically, fulfill their dreams, because they know that they have not a short time to do it. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone, man. And that's the times we're in. The joy is gone. The joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. The wireless festival, Mirth Fest, basically has been cancelled, and that's causing a lot of people to be, basically people to be depressed. Imagine that, one festival being cancelled, and a lot of people are depressed for the summer, man, because they can't enjoy their summer no more, because they can't they can't see their favorite artist on stage. Crazy, man. That just shows you the mindset of the people, man. It's lucky. Yeah, so the mirth of the land is gone. This place is done for. And that's beautiful, man, because we want this place to be destroyed. Ecclesiastes, and if you're wise, you wouldn't even be in the house of folly or the house of feasting, as I'm going to read here. It says, wisdom and folly contrasted. One against the other, basically. You can't have can't be both. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the livable lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. So if you're wise, you know that times that you're living in, you make wise decisions, man. And you know that, oppression maketh a wise man mad. And you know what times you're supposed to be prepared in the spirit, prepared for all hell to break loose, but also prepared for our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai, that you call JC, to come and deliver us from these set perils, man. The time of Jacob's trouble, our temptation, and ultimately the nuclear destruction, man. You're supposed to have your mindset ready for that, man. That's what you're supposed to be preparing for, not to be enjoying this lascivious lifestyle and just totally committed to folly and not knowing that times that you're living in is detrimental to your whole being, man, your existence and all that, you know. But that's only for the wise, man. It says the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. That's going into the elect, the ones that are sighing and crying for all the abominations that's done in the midst thereof. It says, but the fool's heart's in the house of mirth. That's all these people here. All these people here, they're a bunch of fools, man. Because all they're thinking about is mirthdom. Oh, my summer holiday's ruined now. I can't watch Kanye West perform live and all that. Not knowing that the enemy is plotting to destroy your asses, man. You know. All these people here are basically ready to be chipped. This is just a small example of a whole goyim of people, nations, that are getting ready to be chipped, man. Slapped and chipped, basically, man. You know? Chipped and tagged. You know? That's basically their final destination, man. Just a bunch of dead people walking, basically, the living dead. So the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fools is in the house of mirth. It's better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the songs of fools. And then Kanye West is a fool, man. So when you're getting this rebuke from the men of the Lord, telling you to stop being in that spirit of folly and going on to this, all these damn riotous, events and all that, like it tells you in the New Testament, man. Should, rioting and all these things, you should be left alone, partying like an animal. The feast, the beast comes out at night type spirit. You should leave that shit alone, man. You shouldn't be in the midst of the many people in these last days, because anything could happen like that in the major crowds, following out a multitude to do evil, as the scripture says. So it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise, which is the men of the Lord, than for a man to hear the song of fools. Kanye West is a fool, man. He's an idiot, man. So, I didn't mean to say it like that, but he's an idiot, man. He's a lost soul. He's a lost cause, man. And all he's doing is going to be leading a whole flock of people getting ready to be, chipped and tagged, as I said, and ready to be destroyed, man. Because you already know he's going to endorse the chip. He's going to push and promote that C-hip when it comes out. Because he's nothing but a shield for the wicked elite. He does what he's told. You can't bite the hand that feeds him. Otherwise, he's going to lose all them billions, So, he's a fool, man. He's been a fool. And he's going to die a fool, too. So, you don't want to be associated in these times with those types of characters, man. Because it's not going to lead to your salvation. It's not going to lead to your good. It's going to lead to your destruction. So, Amos 5 and 16. Therefore, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, the Lord, saith thus, wailing shall be in all streets, Jacob's trouble, and they shall say in all the highways, alas, alas. And they shall call the husbandman to mourning, and such of a skillful of lamentation to wailing. Yeah, when the time of mourning, anguish, lamentations and woes, man, that's the times they're coming into, man. It's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This ain't the time to play around. The day of the Lord is near and it hasteth greatly, and it's a terrible day at that. The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, man. It's going to be a time of great tribulation. Jacob's trouble is not going to be no walk in the park. It's called Jacob's trouble because Jacob's really going to be getting their asses handed to them in these last days, man. You ain't seen nothing yet. We ain't seen nothing yet, man. But Jake's really going to get their asses handed to them in these last days, man. It's going to be the worst time for Jake in the history of man. What the Lord's about to unleash on the 2/3, and Esau and these other nations too, because the wicked are going to get jacked up too, man. The Lord said He will not all acquit the wicked. He's angry with the wicked every day, so they're going to get their just rewards too. But 2/3, man, that's in that spirit of folly, and got them that mirth, them spirit and folly demons. They're going to get fucked up out here. Excuse my French. It says Zephaniah 1:14. The great day of the Lord is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly. Yeah. It says this is not a time to be lackadaisical and in the spirit of nonchalant, slothness and all that. We're supposed to be wise, man, circumspect, watching as well as praying, because all hell is literally breaking loose. around the globe, man. And slowly but surely, it's gonna come to your shores, to your neighborhood, very soon. It could be a sunny day like today. All of a sudden, you know, all hell's breaking loose. You're seeing airstrikes and all kind of warplanes in the sky. People, buildings blowing up, people screaming and crying and all that. It's all gonna happen all of a sudden, man. The Lord does with the element of surprise. It's not gonna happen when you want it to happen. It's gonna happen when you least expect it to happen, man. That's why it's supposed to be wise in these days, man. Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that times. It's supposed to be watching, man. You know. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess of the clouds and thick darkness. And this is ultimately talking about the day when those nuclear missiles get pelted from the four winds of the earth to destroy Babylon the Great and Israel, man. And we're coming close to it because this guy, DJ Trump's basically declared all-out war on Iran. Said he's gonna obliterate all their establishments, man. You know, he's gonna destroy everything. You know, all their bridges and so on and so forth, man. He said he's basically just gonna straight out nuke them, basically. And you know, that's basically the type of weaponry it sounds like he's gonna be using. They're gonna be using the ballistic missiles, man, because he wants to destroy. He said by tonight they're gonna be going blown back to the Stone Age. So when they talk about going back to the Stone Age, they're talking about using some ballistic type missiles, man. You know, and if they do that, they don't want to do that, but if they do that, man, you already know what Russia's gonna do. Russia's gonna jump in and get involved, and then you know, before you know, it's gonna be a sayonara for America, man, because you know this is only gonna happen after the MOT to the B has been made mandatory, by the way, but those nuclear missiles are going to be used, the ICBMs, the wastes that was created to destroy. They're definitely going to be used, man. So I don't know what Trump's going to do, man, but he can't go back in time. That's all I know. He better not use no ballistic missiles right now because it's not going to work out for America anyway. But, you know, this is what we're looking for anyway. We want America to be destroyed. But, you know, they got the four angels holding back the four winds until the elect is sealed. Until Yahweh Bashim Yahushai gives the green light. And then America is going to be destroyed after the mark of the beast system has been implemented and made mandatory around the four winds. Then those angels are going to be loosed, man. You know, in that barren land over there, like it tells you in Joel 2:20. And World War III is going to commence, and the backdraft to that is America's going to get wiped off the planet, and Israel is going to get hit too and made desolate. But that's going to be rebuilt by the slaves, you know, of the Israelites, starting with the elect. You're going to have slaves in the kingdom of heaven, man, and they're going to build the Lord's kingdom, you know, physically, man. We're going to watch them build it brick by brick. Otherwise, will be part of the first fruits. But America's going to be a total desolate land, you know, the forbidden zone, if you will, and it's never going to be inhabited by a human soul ever again. Thus saith Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. So, anyway, man, sign of the times. Spirit of Mirthdom is definitely gone. So, you know, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holiness and, you know, as the scripture says, you know, in regards to 2 Peter's holy conversations, man. So, anyway, with that, we'll close out. Give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chodash, Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.